Welcome back to Witchtober. Today is day 27. Today I wanted to talk about how to visit your ancestors' graves. Now, if you've followed me for pretty much any amount of time, you know that that's like my main thing that I do for Samhain, and I have done this for over a decade now. I tweak it a little bit every year. I've kind of settled on to some consistent things that I do, but this is just a suggestion. If you want to try some of them at home, go do this. Well, not really at home, but you know what I mean. Like, get ideas and then go to your local cemeteries. So the first thing I recommend, and this year I am actually like doing it. So I have talked about it, I think, a few times, but I love the thing that I made. I think it started in the Death Journey, but it's called my Ancestor book. It is an ancestor binder, basically, because I love binders, that I have talked about, where basically this houses your dead people, because when we go to the cemeteries, every year I always have to find the freaking obituary, and it would be nice just to have a printed version of it. And it's one that I think it'll be really good to be able to pass along to our kids and grandkids at some point. But this book, I want it to have my obituaries for all of my family, and I'll probably organize it based off of like where they are. So, you know, like, hey, we're at this cemetery, and then like have like a little tab for those people and have their obituaries, and then also to put in any personal stories that we have of them. So again, when we pass this along, people will know about the people they're visiting. Because there's a few that we visit that died before I was born, and I had to rely on secondhand stories, and a lot of stories die off when you don't write them down, and then those people die too. So I want to write down as much as I can and have that in this book. And so it's just a binder, and have page protectors, print off the obituaries, write down the stories, and then probably type them up at a later time. Add those in as well. That is something, I have the binder and everything now, so I just gotta go print them off and get dividers to mark out this different cemeteries. And also included in that is a map of the cemetery, so you know where you're going. Because every year we get lost. There's a few, like we have 3 different cemeteries that every single time we get lost. So I need to like get the map from the cemetery. I'm sure they have it on their websites. And then like draw like a little X or something, like this is where you're going, dude. Because it seems so easy, but there's probably thousands of graves. Sometimes it's a little hard to find them. But yeah, that's the first thing. Make your ancestor book and take that with you. Next is I always bring an offering. I love to bring flowers, and I don't care that some of them are dudes. They will also appreciate flowers. Don't care. Straight, gay, doesn't matter. You will like flowers too. And so I always give flowers. I usually get just like the autumn blend that they have at like the grocery store, grab those and give them, and I will usually decorate the grave with those. I've seen a lot, mostly of like the Mexican families that are out there celebrating Day of the Dead and really decorating their graves. I'm not to that level, but I do decorate with some flowers. And you know, there's been a few years where I'll leave like one of the small pumpkins, different things like that, but decorate the grave. Also, I actually didn't have this in my notes, but this is one that just came up in the brain. So also bring some light cleaning tools, because graves inevitably will start to get, especially the flat ones, they kind of sink in. And so we have a few of them that I need to bring like clippers to trim the freaking grass. They don't go through and really trim around the graves, especially the flat ones. So we have a few of them that like it's starting to get taken over, and also some kind of a small brush. I know that there are specifics of which ones you're supposed to use. I don't know. Diddly squat of nothing. So I'm gonna just try and find like a generic little like paintbrush or something, just to get the dirt out of my way and get into the crevices, like, you know, where it's got like the letters and stuff. Dirt can get packed in there very easily. So trying to clear off the graves. Some people will take it a step further, and especially if you live in like moist areas where you have a lot of like moss and stuff trying to grow on them, you have different treatment things that need to be done. Talk to the people who work at the cemetery and ask them what they suggest. I know there's certain ways that you're supposed to clean them. If you do it wrong, you can damage the stone more, so ask before you do that. Where I live, we don't have that issue. It's mostly just dry, so we're fine. But yeah, there's some that definitely we need to just mostly find it under the dirt every year. And then the last thing and the major thing that we do is when we visit, I always plan to eat something and drink something while we are there. So this year I'm probably going to make either cookies or the pumpkin skull bread and bring that with us, and then have snacks with our beloved dead, and then leave an offering for them. We usually pour a drink to them as well. We cater the drinks to who we are visiting. So, you know, when I visit like my grandma who loved to have Diet Coke, we have a Diet Coke with her. And, you know, last year I tried I love Liquid Death. If you don't know, it is an amazing brand of sparkling water, and they're a hilarious brand. And so I brought some of those because that's just what I had. And the ancestors were very intrigued, but I did not feel like they appreciated the weird. So I'm probably not going to do that this year. And instead, I will stick with more traditional drinks, maybe like an apple cider. I've done the sparkling apple ciders a lot because that's something you can't get at a grocery store here. Because some people like to do like wine. You have to go to a liquor store for that. So I just easy peasy, plus I'm driving, so, you know, don't do a lot of alcohol, obviously, but I love to share a drink with, and like, I don't know, I guess I should say, some of my ancestors did not give a flying crap. Like when I go and I visit for my grandpa, I had that drink, I know, with all certainty he did not care, because I'm the one who always had the weird food, the weird drinks, it just makes sense. He would have his drink that he likes and I have mine, and it's just how it always had been, so it fit. But others, they're like, what in the what? So just cater it a little bit to the people if you knew them, and just kind of your general witchy vibe. So yeah, that's pretty much how I go and I visit all of our family graves. And of course, make sure to pack out litter. Do not leave like the plastic or anything from your flowers. I know it's really trendy. I don't know why. Why do people just like leave a potted plant to die on a grave? That feels weird. Don't do that. Leave a cut plant that like it's not gonna live anyways. I see that all the time. People like get these potted mums and then they just plop them on the ground and they don't like plant it, and then it's gonna die, and it's like, why do you do this? It's so weird. Anyways, that's a side tangent. But also, if you feel motivated, you could also, if you go during like Yule, and like I think it's also Memorial Day and potentially Veterans Day, but probably just Memorial Day, I don't know. There's a few times of the year that people will put wreaths on graves as well, or like around them and stuff. You could also do that if you want to go for different seasons. Decorate to the season, of course. But yeah, mostly I just do my drink and food, decorate with flowers, sometimes leave a small pumpkin, and call it a day. So anyways, that is how I visit my ancestors every year. I'd love to know what you do in the comments down below. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it's patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I post every single day, and until next time, blessed be.